Welcome once again to Noble. We are very happy all the time to bring you sessions and stories of people. Of course, we say this platform connects people through stories, and today is another special moment for me. I have a friend, a colleague, a brother, someone I find in very high spaces where young people engage, and we want to talk about a number of issues. So, welcome to the show, Israel.
What's good, Andre?
Introduce yourself. Tell these
you.
people who you are, what you're doing.
Well, I do a lot.
Yes.
People actually call me a supermarket because I have so many things that I do.
Yes.
But Israel Lugadiru is my name. I am a Kenyan, born-again Christian, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
I am also the founder and the chairperson of the Nairobi Students and Youth Leaders Forum.
All right.
Which is a forum that started a year ago. And we started it because we wanted to achieve 3 goals. 1 is peace and climate action.
Yes.
2 is economic empowerment for the youth. And the other one, which was just a social, it was mainly a charity wing of the Nairobi Student Leaders Forum that was centered upon trying to raise school fees for comrades who didn't have school fees or who couldn't afford or who were going through a hard time.
Yes.
So those were our 3 goals. So we've started it. We are happy because we've been able to achieve quite a lot.
Yeah.
And probably just a couple of the things that I can mention, or just 2 of them, is we did the Kenyan Year to Peace campaign.
Yes.
That grossed over, I think, 10 million impressions online.
Wow.
And we did it in partnership with Octopizzo Foundation. Big up to Octopizzo, by the way.
Yeah.
We also did it with Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, Kasnadi Abdallah, and also a couple of other sponsors and partners here and there who we are very, very happy about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I was introducing you, I'm saying that I meet you in high spaces. You know? Because when we were launching the Mandla Mek, I found you there among the moderators. Of course, I was also moderating a high panel, you know, and I realized that you're also there, you know, you're moderating a panel. So I sort of admire your social capital, because I see you with great guys, see you with people that I really wish I could meet sometimes. So your life is a little bit intentional, you know, and here we want to also share with young people how intentional you can be about the people you surround yourself with and the activities that you want to do out of campus, because I don't think there's something called social capital that we study in the university. You know, you graduate, but now your network becomes your net worth. So tell me, what makes you do these things you do, you know, associating with, you know, people like Ezekiel Mutua, doing the things you do, you know, trying to help young people who are still in campus. So tell me, what drives you, bro, to do these things that you do?
Solutions. I'm a guy who likes to look at problems and tries to figure out the best solution towards those problems. If the issue is empowerment, especially let's say if the issue is economic empowerment for the youth, how best can I come up with a solution that is going to at least empower, even if it's 2 people, economically or financially. So I'm a guy who's driven by looking at problems and coming up with solutions to those problems. And I try to narrow them down to a level whereby I can define my solutions so well and so articulately. And that now addresses who probably I think would be the best person to try and meet up with, so that we're able to provide this solution together. And fortunately enough, I think those people are people who are in very high rankings and in very high standings and offices. And I have learned how to package myself and package my value in a way that is sellable and buyable to these people. So that's just all I do. There's really no magic to it.
So from your response, there are 2 things I want us to talk about. One will be the power of the social capital.
The power of social capital,
because we keep talking about this thing, but I also realize we don't give it a lot of importance. You know, because we think when we have papers, we've gone to school, you're going to knock an office and somebody's going to give you a job because you're good, you know. But reality is that when you graduate, you need somebody out there. So I want to briefly speak about what the power from the social capital, and what has it done to you as an individual? Because I see you do things that I know so well. Maybe you didn't do those things in the university, but you find yourself in those spaces.
Yeah. I understood the power of social capital when there was a day I was walking in town, and I was with a couple of friends of mine who were going to Muthaiga.
Yeah.
And so as we were walking and I was guiding them, you know, like I like being the leader, especially when I'm walking with a pack of guys or shorters, you know. So I was, you know, I was trying to let the ladies know that I know my way around town. So there was an apparent city council raid that was happening. Where exactly was that stage? It was just some stage close there to the stage at Muthaiga. Then all of a sudden, the city council guys come and arrest me. And I'm there and I'm like, what the heck have I done? What the heck have I done? And let me tell you one thing, Andre. You think Nairobi CBD is polluted? Wait till they put you in that car.
The Kanjo car.
The Kanjo car. So I was arrested and I was put there and I was trying to plead my case with those city council guys. I was telling them there's nothing wrong that I've done. I'm not even a hawker. Do I even look like a hawker, first of all? And I was carrying my backpack. So they took my backpack, and one of the city council guys did one of the most despicable things. And nothing against the city council guys, but he actually put something that's illegal in my bag and claimed that I had it.
Oh my God. Yes.
So that was going to be the case.
That
was the day I understood the power of social capital, because I made a phone call to a person who I know works at a very high position at the Kanjo offices. And it didn't even take 5 minutes. I was released.
Wow.
So
you talked about, you know, the power of the social capital. And you gave a scenario of, you know, you were arrested by the Kanzo. Yes, wrongly arrested. And you called the Kanzo. You know, by the Kanzo, and you called someone that you know that can help you. So, you know, some young people tend to misuse also their social capital.
Exactly.
Is that scenario where you go maybe to a club, you start a fight, and then you expect to call a friend who is an OCS or something to. So so how can young people know that? How can we make good use of our, you know, social capital so that we don't misuse them, you know?
Actually, part of the reason as to why majority of this, let's say, top people don't like sharing their contacts is because they usually get misused a lot by young people. You're going to find people sending them messages like, hi, nipe a job.
For sure.
Saxa, with XA. Some people even calling you at 1:12 a.m. asking you for money, telling you that they haven't eaten. Stuff like that. So majority of them are going to really shy away from helping out these people. So I think there's one thing that is going to help you. One is character. Character.
Yes.
That's number one. In fact, one thing that I like about my mentor, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, is that he's always very intentional about character. And we've also been doing a book called How the Mighty Have Fallen by a guy called Greg T. Johnson.
Wow.
So it just basically centers and focuses on character. Two is the level of relationship. You see, for me to mentor you, I need to know you well to an extent that I am able to relate with you at a certain level. And what that needs to do is that our relationship needs to be built to that extent where we can relate at that level. It's not just someone who I would meet up today and then be like, hey, Andre, bail me out. It doesn't work that way. So at that point of relationship level, and just at that particular point you're building a relationship, a lot is usually known and filtered out. Like, your character is known throughout that whole experience, whereby I'm able to really know your intentions with me as your mentor. That's if I'm mentoring you, for example. Whereby I'm really able to know your character, who you are behind the curtains, whereby I'm able to know the value that you bring to the table. And I'm also able to really understand the kind of relationship that me and you have. So it takes a while before you're able to relate at that level. What majority of people usually do is that they want to get to that place too fast, before they actually get there. So lastly, the only reason as to why I actually called that guy is because he told me, in case anything happens to you, hit me up.
You can always hit me up.
But if anything had happened, by then I would have gone to ningelala huko tu.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know? Because and you said something about what you bring on the table.
What you bring on the table.
Mentorship is also a two-way.
It is a two-way thing.
Somebody would want to walk the journey with you longer.
Yeah.
Because of your character, because of what you're doing, because of the them feeling that their impact in your life is actually creating something positive out of you.
There's something else that I really want. I know we are done, but I think this is very important for people to know. People often think that when a mentor comes to your life, he's there to baby you and milk you, meaning that he's also there to give you purpose.
Yes.
A mentor is only there to guide you in your purpose. Yeah?
Yes.
And where we often go wrong as young people is because we expect our mentors to baby us in everything.
Yeah.
So once you go to a mentor and you basically start being a parasite, you've completely left your value aside.
Yeah. Your purpose.
Your purpose aside.
And you want somebody to give you like everything.
You want
now.
Someone to give you everything.
Show me the way.
That's again another form of abusing your mentor.
All right.
And let me tell you, that thing is always noticed from afar.
Yes.
And there are mentors who are going to slowly push you away. They won't tell you.
Because they know, they can see.
They can see it from afar.
You are needy.
You're needy.
You're more needy than.
You're more needy than, all you do, you just become really needy.
Right.
And that thing can easily be noticed from afar. What most mentors will do is that they won't tell you.
Yeah.
They will stop communicating with you.
All right.
Yeah?
Yes.
So in case you're that kind of person, just go and relook at your life and try to reevaluate your goals and dreams. And just be honest with yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. The biggest issue with the youth that we have today is that one, they're afraid of making networks.
Yes.
Two, they just don't want to push themselves to spaces where they can easily network with these people. Yeah.
Correct.
You find that majority of them in their free time, especially when they're in campus, instead of trying to look for events or trying to volunteer in various places, you will just go probably play PlayStation, which isn't bad, but too much of everything is poisonous.
It's poisonous, yeah.
You're just going to find them, going to party in one or two places, to sherehe and stuff like that. For me, what I like to do, I like to put myself in spaces whereby I can easily go for a networking event.
Yes.
I can MC for free. I volunteer and MC for free. Just so that I am able to get 2 or 3 networks that I know are going to help me in the future.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said something so powerful about students not really pushing themselves.
Yes.
Because I remember when I was in campus, I'm not going to say that I was a very curious person, you know, but the thing was, I wanted to be in spaces where people are having conversations about life, about, people sharing their own stories, or we are engaging in matters, be it policy, be it politics, all those things. But you see, now we don't have a very proactive young people. People love fun. People love fun, the new generation, the Gen Z, or these guys love fun. They want to
and the
play
easy work.
PS. Yeah. So that's something very powerful. But you also realize that you have built your brand as a person to be where you are today, because I know where I've seen you, man. I know. I've seen you in some spaces. So how important is building your brand, even on social media? Because, people just basically going through your WhatsApp status alone can speak a lot about you, So speak about personal branding. How have you managed to brand yourself, to be in the spaces where, these spaces I claim I'm seeing you at?
I think the first aim of personal branding is for you to really understand the why.
Yes.
And the why will also really address a lot the how. The how you're going to do something. And the why is basically where you want to go.
Yes.
And the issue with many young people is that they've not been able to define where they want to go or where they want to be.
Yes.
And I know it takes time for people to define that, but I think there are some obvious things that just come by that are going to be able to help you determine what exactly you should put out there and also how you should brand yourself. For example, you're in campus, you just know in the next 2, 3, 4 years, I'm going out there to look for a job. So if I'm going out there to look for a job, how exactly would I want to portray myself in a way that is going to be sellable to my employer?
Yeah.
So that's going to mean that nowadays the employer of today is going to look at your papers, and the first thing that they'll do, they'll Google you.
Yes.
They're going to Google your name to find out whether everything that you've talked about in the CV matches up to who you really are. So once they find your social media profile, in fact, nowadays they even ask for your social media profiles.
I've seen that a lot.
So when they ask for your social media profiles, if you're private, they tell you, hey, please allow us, we would like to go through everything.
Yeah.
And some of them, instead of telling you, they'd probably just request you.
Yes.
And then you think it's an extra follower, so you accept it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're able to analyze really who you are, outside the CV.
Yes.
So for me, I was able to define that and see it very early. Why? Because I was exposed early. I was exposed through these conferences and these forums that I attend.
Yeah.
And I was able to talk to people who gave me this information quite early. And this really assisted me in how I package myself, how I put information out there, and also just basically how I brand myself.
Yes.
I can tell you right now, Andre, there are people on my WhatsApp who I have their numbers, but they will never see my statuses.
Wow.
Because not every message that I post on my WhatsApp is for everyone.
Okay.
And I'm very intentional about it. And I'm saying it here because it's just the truth.
Yes.
There are guys that I'm going to go, probably I have a contact of Sijui which CEO who I really want them to give me an event.
Yes.
And then I'm there posting something negative, just a very funny meme that's very negative. Or let me give an example of, I have a contact of a government official.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, I'm going to post on my status stuff to do with maandamano. And these are the same people who I'm asking a job from.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. That's how you get disqualified. So people just need to be very strategic, very intentional about what they post.
Yeah.
And also how they brand themselves. You don't necessarily have to restrict yourself. That's why you can filter out who watches your status, who watches your stories, and who doesn't.
Yes.
And that's just how I've been able to manage and also control the kind of information that I deliver and put out there and brand myself. Yeah.
Wow. There's this student movement that you guys run.
Yes.
And I am so much interested because it works with university students and also the ex-university students who are trying to create a movement, you know, to solve a number of issues.
Yeah.
Among them, I believe, is, you know, how people who are in spaces of influence can empower the younger generation. So just talk a little bit about your organization, because I've seen the work that you guys do, and I know the intentions are really good, and the aim of working with the students, you know. So I would want to know much more about your work with that body and where it is heading, you know, its future, because we need to build movements that can stay longer and address issues and rebrand even its mode of operation to fit the emerging issues that keep on emerging.
Exactly.
You know? Yes.
So the Nairobi Youth and Student Leaders Forum started as just the Nairobi Student Leaders Forum, but now without the youth.
Yeah.
And our major focus was on the youth space. And just early on, as I was introducing myself, I told you that we are only out there to focus on 3 key issues, which is peace and climate action, social impact through an initiative or a social welfare wing that is known as Okoa Comrades Initiative, where we just try and raise school fees for those comrades who cannot afford school fees. And then the third one is all about economic empowerment through a program that we have, and it's actually running, known as the Tujenge Biashara program. But initially when we started, I think this is something that I have to say, it started as a very politically inclined forum. Because we started it just before just a couple of months before the 2022 general elections. And the aim of it was to sensitize people on good leadership, sensitize students on good leadership, and also to try and get them to register as new voters, so that they're able to vote in the upcoming general elections. And the reason as to why I wanted to do that is because there was this belief among the students' population that your vote doesn't really count, you know? And so majority of students and youths at large, they often shy away from voting. And not just that, but they are also very uninformed when it comes to important affairs and matters such as policy making. So they don't understand anything to do with policy, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And some of those are the reasons as to why today we're getting the lowest of budgets in the county, because today the youths have been allocated 3 million Kenya shillings in Nairobi County as we're talking.
Yes.
Which is crazy. And why did that happen? It's because youths were not aware that such decisions were being made.
Yes.
And it's not that they weren't aware, it's because they just weren't informed, because even when they were invited, they didn't attend to such sittings and such hearings.
That's true. Yeah.
So some of these things are passed because the youth are uninformed.
Yes.
So we decided to come up with this forum because we would like to we wanted to basically inculcate such knowledge to our youths, and also to bring them into the political conversation, into the political space. So we did the Chukua Kura Yako initiative, whereby we registered, I think we did about 65,000 new voters among the students' population.
Oh, that's quite a good number.
Quite a good number, and it was zero budget.
Wow.
All we did was just make noise on social media.
All we did was just necessary noise.
Necessary noise on social media. We teamed up with a couple of student leaders, and we also worked with the IEBC, and we ensured that the BVR kits were now placed in institutions of higher learning across Nairobi.
Yes.
Which is a very hard thing to happen, but it actually did happen. So we had 65,000 new voters.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden we have 65,000 new voters. We have a huge database of young people. What do we do with it? So we started constantly engaging them, talking to them with regards to political sensitization.
Yes.
But then I think along the way, we also felt like it was better for us to now collectively bargain in terms of come up with different resolutions that students wanted to see in their government, especially in the county, because our main focus is Nairobi County. And so what we did, we approached a couple of gubernatorial aspirants, and we came up with a couple of recommendations and resolutions and what we wanted to see. And that project was known as the Nairobi That We Want to See.
Wow.
And so we pitched it to a couple of gubernatorial aspirants, and at that particular point, His Excellency Richard Ngatia, President of the Kenya Chamber of Commerce.
I remember you worked closely with him. Yes.
He was one of the people who actually said, you know what, I think this is something that we can do.
Yes.
You guys want to see internships in the county? Why not? You guys want to be able to see industrial zones created in various parts of Nairobi County, so that we are able to solve the unemployment gap, so that when you guys leave university, you're able to find places to work. Said, why not? This is so easy. So we got students together, we signed, and so we, we campaigned for him.
Was he the only one? Was he the only gubernatorial candidate that supported that? Did you reach Sakaja, many others?
No, Sakaja at that point had not yet declared his bid.
But you didn't reach him after that?
We didn't reach him.
All right.
Unfortunately, we had already gotten into the... Fortunately or unfortunately, we had gotten into the agreement with Honorable Ngatia, who is also a very good man. Actually, he's very good friends with Sakaja. That's what people don't know.
All right.
So... So he supported us very well. We're very appreciative of that. But basically Sakaja hadn't yet come into the game because we weren't sure whether he would be senator or
All right,
So cut the long story short, we worked with Ngatia until, fortunately or unfortunately, we all know what happened. He didn't end up in the ballot. So after Ngatia, we kind of like decided to take a step away from the political wing.
All right.
And now we felt like maybe we can appeal more to our target audience outside of the spectrum of politics. So we decided to now delve on those three key issues that I just talked about earlier on. And we began the Kenyan Year to Peace campaign, just to sensitize people about peace in elections. And that actually worked very well. And that's now how we came into contact and we started working with our mentor, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua.
You got it there. Because I want to talk about the power of mentorship. And I've seen you guys work closely with Ezekiel Mutua. The last time when we were at Kempinski talking about, just what he's doing, he told me that one of the things he really loves doing is mentoring young people. And after I interviewed him in the panel, he took my number. And later he even reached out and told me, you did a good job. So that speaks to the power of mentorship, you know, and even we who are mentored, there are also other people, other young people who are still there, that looks up to us. So just as we summarize this, as we sum it up now, how has mentorship been like for you? The fact that you have one of the most influential guys in the country like Ezekiel Mutua, backing you guys up. So the power of mentorship, you know.
I think fire is very dangerous if it is not controlled.
Yes.
And that
started from a philosophical
bit because I think that point, what I want to say, I really want it to hit home.
Yes.
You see, when you're gifted but you lack direction, you become a time bomb.
Wow.
We have so many people who are gifted at such a young age, but they lacked a positive sense of direction.
Wow.
And in the end, the results of their impact was catastrophic. Imagine if someone held Hitler's hand when he was young and just mentored that person. Such a powerful speaker.
Yes.
Hitler's style of speaking was, in a way, it was very rhythmic, in forms of a beat. And that's exactly what got the Germans into him, Imagine if a person like that was well mentored. Idi Amin Dada. Imagine if he was well mentored, what would have happened? So the issue with majority of gifted youths out here is that they lack a father who can guide them through.
Wow.
And so mentorship comes in the space of having a senior person who is able to rebuke you.
Yes.
Ezekiel Mutua does that very well.
If you do something wrong, he's going to tell you.
He's going to tell you. Straight up.
Yeah.
And he's that person who you cannot tell anything. You can't claim that you're more famous than him. He's definitely way more famous than you. Can't claim you have more money than him. He's got definitely more wealth. He's done so many things. He's older than you.
Yes.
And so a mentor comes in now to guide you through the way.
Wow.
And the issue with us again is that for us we think that mentors are there to give you something.
Yes. I get that a lot with young people.
Exactly.
That you mentor them, they're hungry. Send me 200 shillings.
200 shillings.
Yeah. And because you're my mentor.
If you really want to sustain that mentorship relationship, be humble. Don't ask for anything apart from the mentorship.
Yes.
So for us, we have been able to be guided under his leadership because we've been humble enough to listen to him, and he's been good enough to accommodate us and also to guide us along the way. Wow. He's opened his heart and shared his failures and his wins as well.
Wow.
He's opened doors for us as well. He's taken us to various conferences. And just to conclude, there's something that I've come to learn in mentorship, and this is something that Dr. Ezekiel Mutua tells us. He says that there are 3 E's to mentorship and to life as well. He says that the first one is education.
Yes.
So a mentor is there to educate you.
Yeah.
To give you knowledge. Umetoka campus unafikiria utapata degree yako itakuokolea. My friends.
Yeah. I remember we were having that conversation. Like, you come from campus, you think you got your papers. Just you walk out there and you realize you don't even know which direction do you want to take. Yeah.
Now that's where a mentor comes in to educate you.
Yeah.
The next one is to give you exposure. To expose you to certain places. I can tell you there are certain tables that I have sat in that I wouldn't be able to sit on those tables if it weren't for him.
Wow.
There are certain doors that he's been able to open for us that to us would have been very difficult to open if it were not for him.
Yeah.
And then lastly is experience. So education, exposure, and experience.
Wow.
So mentorship is an experiential journey, a learning journey that you come to learn each and every day. So
really amazing. My mentor, one of my mentors is the principal director for Africa Development Bank, Dr. Olufunso Somorin.
Yes.
Our very first meeting, he bought me a book, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes.
Initially, he had wanted to get me Outliers because when he watched a documentary of my life that was done in Madare by a CTN TV. He was like, I think you're an outlier.
Exactly.
So he wanted to buy the book so badly, but he couldn't find it. And then he gave me The Tipping Point.
Yes.
So 2 weeks later, a friend sent me the Outliers. And now I was in between two Malcolm Gladwell books, you
exactly.
know? So I said, this one came from my mentor.
Yeah.
Let me read this first. So I read The Tipping Point, and I realized how ideas can spread.
Yes.
The power of word of mouth.
The power of
story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We stand, we tell our story.
Yes.
You see movements like Engage, how they expose people coming there to just share their stories.
Yeah, TEDx.
You watch the TEDx shows, you know, people just come to share their stories. Yeah, that's why we have platforms now like Noble.
That's why we have Noble.
We want to bring voices like yours to come and share, because now you're talking about education.
Education, yeah.
One of the biggest thing I think my mentor has done for me is the 2 E's. That is, educate me. Whenever I want to make a decision, I have to reach him out. And he's not somebody who's going to give you guidance. He's going to tell you to think through. He's going to facilitate the thinking process.
Exactly.
And that is a high level of education.
Exactly.
You know? Like a teacher is a facilitator.
A facilitator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next one has been exposure, because he runs a series of what is called the Mentorship, where he brings young people and shares his experiences, because he's someone who's traveled the world. He's met the high and mighty. So he shares his personal experiences with us, you know. And that level of exposure and education, I think, plays a bigger role. Yeah. And now, just like a parting shot, you and I, we've been to spaces, man. What do you think we need to do for the younger folks, you know, guys who are coming up, guys who look at us and say, wow?
I think we need to be honest with them.
Yes.
We just need to be very, very honest with them and be very open with how we've been able to get here, so that they themselves are also able to get to these levels.
Yes.
We also, in terms of being honest and open, I think in my journey, I have had very many people who have given me a lot of false hopes.
Yes.
True. Before I got the right mentors in my life, I had people who gave me a lot of false hopes.
Yes.
Guys who tell you, you know what, I'm going to mentor you. I'm even going to give you a job. You know, and you get so excited. I think we have a responsibility to give people who are following us the truth.
The truth.
Let's just tell them, this is what we can do. This is what I can do for you. For the past, I think, couple of months, I've been getting so many people DMing me, asking me, hey, Lugadiru, can you mentor us? Can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? Right now, I actually run like a mentorship thing. Wow. I've never advertised it on social media.
You should, man.
I know I will one day.
Yeah.
One day I actually will. But the reason as to why I haven't is because I want to be very intentional with the people who are mentoring. Like right now, I'm only mentoring 5 people.
Yes.
Yeah. The other ones, probably it's through LinkedIn posts, social media posts. Yeah. But I'm just mentoring like 5 people who at least I try to have fortnight Zoom meetings with.
Yes.
We try and do a couple of books together.
All right.
And I have been very intentional to know exactly what they want so that I'm able to know how I can pour into them.
Wow.
And this is the problem with very many mentors out there. They just want to guide you. They just want to give you false hopes and stuff like that. So what I've done different is that I've been very honest with what I can give these people.
Yes.
They will never ask me for money because that's not what I'm going to give them.
Yes.
They will never ask me for job opportunities because that's not really what I'm going to give them for now.
Yes.
But if it's in terms of knowledge and guidance, that's what I can give them. So if they want it, then they come. If they can't take it,
that's fine.
So we need to be very honest with these young people who are coming out.
Really amazing. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So
amazing set you guys have here.
Yeah, so as a Click Pictures, our producers, they're doing an amazing job. Yeah. And we are always hoping.
They hosted me very well, by the way.
Yeah.
I have a lot of soda here. They're Manchester United fans. Kudos, Manu. I know you're not.
You hate to say that on show, man.
I just had to because you're an Arsenal fan.
All right.
The best way of hurting an Arsenal fan is saying you're a Man.
It's fine, man. Sadly, Click Pictures supports Arsenal. Not really. They also have Arsenal fans. You need to know. I am an Arsenal fan, and my story is told through Click Pictures.
Please,
yeah.
Please. You are just an exception.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, thank you so much for always tuning in. And that was a very powerful story. I was hosting my friend here, Israel, and we hope that these conversations opens your minds and empowers you and, you know, pushes you to do more in your life. We welcome you also to come and share your stories in this show. Thank you.